Hey everybody, welcome viewers and listeners, Coach's Corner crew. We're back here again tonight, 31st of March. We're one day away from April Fool's Day. Maybe we should add it on April Fool's Day, guys. That would have fit us. If we had Huff and West.
Austin Cowan's birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, Austin Cowan. Is it really his birthday?
Yeah,
It really is. April Fool's, baby.
Well, Austin, we all know this is our man for wrestling, but we'll get into all that. Hey, we're glad to have you all with us again tonight. Been a couple weeks since our last show. A lot of stuff going on tonight, but it's Denny Dorrel night. You have your own night. Here he is, everybody. We've been saying we had to get him on. He's the brother of the founder. You know that's how we refer to Jody.
Yeah.
We tease him a lot and this, but we're glad to have Denny on. Finally got him on. He's came up with this good group. We got Travis back tonight and Rob, and of course Brandon. Brandon's keeping the wand for Mike Huff. Huff and West can't be here tonight. Huffy's at an NBA game.
NBA game, man.
Pacers game. Him and Steven are NBA correspondent. Did you know Steven is the official NBA?
The official.
Yeah, he hadn't been on the show yet. He's the official guy. And Wes has just had something.
Wes is being Wes.
He had something to do in Metamore or Laurel tonight. But hey, we're glad to have Denny on. You've been hearing about it. You've been watching.
Yeah, I've been watching. I haven't missed an episode yet, so I've enjoyed it.
Are you caught up with us?
I am.
Okay, we're on episode 9 tonight.
Caught up and fed.
You know what, guys? It seems weird that we've already been doing it since the beginning of October. Time's flying. Granted, we only get to have, sometimes at best, 2 episodes a month. But we're glad you're on. And before we get started with NCAA talk and baseball, season started. And we want to always let you know we're still going to try to set up that baseball hot stove night with Larry Phillips and Todd Phillips. Trying to get that set up. So, Denny, before we get rolling, Franklin County High School grad, lifelong Franklin Countier. Take us from high school on, because some of your career has took you in spots that I don't even remember or know about.
Yeah, so graduated in 1997. Went to Hanover College.
Hey guys, we gotta stop. We gotta stop. Okay, we gotta stop. You're gonna.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Coach's Corner crew. We're up here in Connorsville tonight in the Coach's Corner office. Typical thing. We already had one glitch, so our glitch is done for the night. Denny Dorrel night. Denny, we've already introduced you once. We're introducing you again. Former athletic director at Franklin County High School. But since we've already wasted about 5 minutes, we're going to go right into Denny. Travis is here, Rob's here, Brandon's here. Steve Kreider, we got your lamp on in honor of Kentucky over there. So anyway, Denny, back to the question. Franklin County High School graduate, lifelong Franklin Countier.
Yeah.
But after high school, where did your career take you? Let's get started.
So after high school, graduated in 1997. Went to Hanover College. Played football there for 4 years. Was fortunate to be part of some pretty good teams. Went 37-7 over my 4-year career. Went to the national playoffs 3 times. Following that, we went to Thomas More College. Started off as an intern at Thomas More. Lived in a dorm room. Made $5,000 a year and got free board in the cafeteria. So I wanted to get my foot into the college coaching career, and that's how I got started there. After 6 months, I was pretty fortunate that the head coach left. And had an opportunity to either go full-time at Thomas More or go full-time at the old coach's new school. And at that time, I'd been dating this girl for a few months, and she's from Cincinnati, so I stayed at Thomas More. And within a year, was the defensive coordinator at Thomas More. We stayed there for 4 years. Got married. We left and went to Marietta College for 2 years as the defensive coordinator in southeastern Ohio, right on the Ohio River. Okay. Following that, that's where we had our twins in Marietta. Yep. So while my twins were 1 year old, I took a job at Hanover College, left my wife with twins, 1-year-old twins. Went to Hanover College, and she was by herself for about 3 or 4 months. Then she came to Hanover with me. We were at Hanover for 2 years as the defensive coordinator, and then got the head coaching job at Bluffton University, and was there for 4 years. And after our 4 years at Bluffton, the athletic director position came open here at Franklin County. We decided to move back home. We did that for 5 years, and decided to become the greatest health teacher in southeastern Indiana. And I'm doing that for my 2nd year. So yeah, so for again, my wife is a trooper.
She coaches at St. Michael's too.
She coaches at St. Michael's, but
Not better than you are.
Yes, sir.
yanked her all over the place. With twins in Marietta, had her 3rd one at Hanover, and she didn't bat an eye, and she knew it was a dream that we wanted to chase, and we chased it, and now we decided it's time to come home.
And you are back at Acres.
Yeah, we're back in Golden Acres there
Golden
in downtown
With Goldie.
downtown Wickham. So
Industrial Wickham.
None of you guys were blown away with the storms again last night, were you?
no.
I saw the video. Rob Cowen, storm chaser. Well, storm follower.
Storm watch.
As they come in.
Sit on the front porch and feed the block.
nothing.
But Denny, I tell you, okay, sometimes where I was like, Franklin County High School, you went to Hanover and played. You was assistant somewhere, and then you were head coach. I didn't really know about all the stops in between. Of course, I didn't put all the years together.
Yeah, so we bounced around a lot, and it was always every time we did it was for a better opportunity, and my goal was always to be a head coach because I just wanted to see could I run a program at the college level, and so we had to go some places. Always promised Sarah when we got engaged that I would never take her more than a car ride away, and we didn't. So Marietta was the farthest we went, which was about 4.5 hours. But everything else was kind of centrally located to. She's from Cincinnati, to Brookville and Cincinnati, to where we could get home, see our parents, or our parents could come up and see us or see our kids. So we bounced around a decent amount, and but all roads lead back to Brookville.
Well, I tell you, head coaching in college. I'm trying to think, guys, jog my memory. What's the last, or if any, Franklin County's, I won't even go into Brookville, who had college coaching especially as a head coach, and then winds up back at Brookville? Now I'm not saying that as a slight.
Right.
It's just like, that's a heck of a lot of, we had Coach Collier leave the Brookville and then go to Hanover and have a great career there.
Dick Naylor
Dick
went
Naylor.
went to Hanover.
But Denny, you were the reverse man.
Yeah.
Thank gosh, we're glad you came back. But
I'm very proud of where I come from. Right, very proud to be from here, and he's a big part of the reason why I came home. I have 2 sisters that I think are incredible, and I think it's important for my kids to be near their aunts. My mom and dad, I'll put them up against anybody, and it was important for me, important for my wife. At that stage, we chased it. We, could we have went on and went bigger? Yeah, we think we could have, but we're at the stage of our life where the 3 most important things that we have are Dex, Kate, and Dylan, and we want to make sure that they're raised around the right people to go out and they can go do big things.
Well, and okay, you've been back for 5 years as AD, and 2 now back at the other, and you threw your hat right. Well, of course, this is crazy. Yeah, you threw your hat back in the ring of being active as an athletic director.
Yeah.
That's the understatement of a lifetime. But not only that, and I'm not trying to blow your ego up or ballyhoo nothing, into all youth coaching. Getting involved with the programs, getting back involved with the 4-H, all the good things that a person likes to do and be a part of at Franklin County, Brookville area. So besides having demands as AD, when we'd be sitting up in the baseball press box and I'd ask you, what all you coaching tonight? Are you still, obviously tell us what you're coaching now. What your schedule is now.
So this past year, I coached 7th and 8th grade football. for Coach Gilman. And then Wes Cox and I coached a Franklin County 8th and 7th grade kind of travel team that we played in the league in Cincinnati. I coached 8th grade boys basketball at the middle school. I coached 6th grade dirt road for Coach Foster, so the 6th grade dirt road team. I coached 8th grade, 7th and 8th grade girls basketball with Wes Cox this year as well. So, I don't know, 5 or 6 teams that I think I coached this past year.
You're leading the nation technical.
I got it.
Yeah.
I did get a couple times.
I'm blaming it on West
And it
Cox.
wasn't me this time.
I did get a couple
For
times
once, Rob
this
didn't
year.
call him.
Rob this one. Well, it was Rob, but not this Rob.
I
Yeah.
tell you though, because your kids, I'm losing track of their age. Is any of them a year away from high school?
The twins will be in high school next year.
They'll be in high school
They'll be
next
in
year. I
high
thought they were
school.
1 year away.
Yeah, so they're both 8th graders right now, and then my youngest is in 6th grade. So we're we're getting close. I think Dex will start with basketball lifting here next week with Coach Foster, and then Kate will start with Coach Van Meter here in the next couple weeks as well. So ready to turn them over, and I'm ready to sit there and be dad and cheer from the coach's corner.
Well, you can be obviously, and we're leaving out one thing: voice of the Franklin County Wildcat football program.
Yeah.
Excellent job. And
WRBI.
WRBI.
and I haven't even. I was getting you, Travis, led me into that. Quickly on that.
Yeah.
I already said, because we've already told
Before you get
people
started.
and the listeners, you already know, you listen to Denny Dorrel's jumping in there. I was jealous. The only time I've ever been jealous. Tell us, is there more of that yet to come as the year, maybe?
I enjoyed the heck out of it. I really, really did. And I actually was offered the opportunity to do the semi-state game,
Oh, really?
or was it regional? North Decatur. How far did they go? Was it North Decatur, or which one went to? They played at Greenfield. I can't remember.
I don't remember I kind of lost track of everybody.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think it was a regional
I
game.
think it was
Okay.
regional.
They called me up and asked me if I wanted to go do the regional game, which was, obviously I thought was pretty cool and pretty big honor. Was unavailable to do it, but so I do think there's some more opportunities around the corner. But it's fun. It really, really is enjoyable. I've kind of stuck to just doing the Franklin County games. Because one, I like watching the Cats play, but two is I got some insight of the kids and insight of the coaches and what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to do. So I hope there's more around the horizon. WRBI, if you're listening,
We could
I'm
use a
always
sponsor, WRBI.
Yeah.
We still, IEW Brockman is the only sponsor. You know what? How much notice did you have before your first game?
So, I mean, it was a couple weeks.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it was a couple weeks when I did the first one, and then after I did the first one, there's a guy sitting here next to me that actually sent in a comment to WRBI.
Is that you?
No, Rob.
Let's go.
So Rob sends in this comment to WRBI that says, "Hey, I was listening to the game South Dearborn versus Franklin County, and your color commentator Denny Dorrel was incredible. You need to have him on there more often." And so obviously WRBI doesn't know that this is basically my
He
brother.
paid me yet for that.
And so once they heard that,
He was blowing smoke.
yeah. So once they heard that, they were like, "We never get these type of compliments." And so they sit there and then they send me a list and says, "Which of these games can you do from this point forward?" So right place at the right time, but a lot of fun.
Well, you know
Really is.
what? I'm mad because I haven't got to hear one of your broadcasts yet.
Yeah.
I listened to him live from Florida.
Really?
Batesville, Franklin County, listened to him live from Florida.
I'm mad. I want to hear it because I know it's going to be good because he's got a great voice. He's
Listening to him.
got the insight. Does a great job announcing Franklin County football games, and we're proud of you. And we're proud of you for a special one thing at the sectional game. Okay, we can't have the light, even though I snuck it in.
Yeah.
I snuck the banner on the back
Yeah.
fence.
I love that.
All this. But after a couple calls, I think it was the Rushville game, Denny Dorrel's level raised.
Yeah.
It was a little bit like he's a rebellion.
I know.
And we were like, yeah, Dan, he's getting mad over there. It was like a long third down or something, or a long penalty.
I think Rushville brought that on themselves.
Yes. And Denny Dorrel was obeying the rules because I've announced tournament where you have to be all the rules. But Denny, thanks for taking it up an octave and giving it, because I'm always saying it. You coached in hostile territory.
Right.
Going to Ohio football games. I've said this already on the podcast, so I apologize to the listeners for repeating, but I'll never be able to drill this in enough. When you go to Ohio or Northern Kentucky, and it's an away football playoff game, it is like you're entering like meat to the wolves.
Right.
And those players thrive on that. The crowd
Both
thrives
sides.
on that.
Both sides.
Yes, it's exciting. You're not there to be the kumbaya. We're the same visitors in this. I mean, they're sportsmanship. I'm not saying nothing about bad sportsmanship or nothing like that. But don't you think Indiana sometimes needs a... I've had this talk with people who were on the board and asked their reasons.
Yeah.
And they just were like, it's just the way it is. It's the way it is.
Yeah, I think that everybody's afraid anymore to hurt anybody's feelings. That's for sure. But like, you talk about the sectional game. Batesville, someone actually sent it to my wife on their Batesville Facebook parent page. They said, we're going back to Franklin County. That's that announcer. Make sure you bring your earplugs because he's going to get loud.
That's a compliment.
So once I heard that, I said, we're going to get loud.
Yeah, Batesville was mad about that too.
Yeah, we're going to crank this thing up a little bit on them just because.
I was proud of it. Well, so I made the mistake one day. We were hosting softball sectional championship, Frank Amherst Connorsville. We won. Frank County won 1-0. Denny comes up, get that fight song. I said, Denny, we're not allowed to do sectionals. I don't care, we're doing it. I was like, yes, sir.
I write the paychecks.
Yes. Game's over.
Another one of our bosses.
Yeah,
I was like, we can't do that. I thought you were doing it anyways.
I tell you, guys, it's Denny's right, and we're not always here to ruffle feathers or anything, but sometimes that element of everybody's got a hug at the end. We're all about sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Rob's a ref. Travis has daughter plays competitive. Young guy coaching and working with the staff. Denny's been all around it. But for crying out loud, you can't take passion away from sports. It's just got to be there. It's human nature. And a kid, in my view, I never played high level stuff, but I played in some big softball stuff. And a player thrives when there's excitement around. Mm-hmm. Whether you're getting yelled at as the opponent or cheered for as the home person. And you thrive and you play better. It's exciting. I don't know. But that's my diatribe. But I think we're all in agreement. So IHSAA Board of Control will be glad to have you on the Coach's Corner crew anytime.
Loose.
Yes.
Turn it loose.
But Den, and we said this before our first glitch of the day, Danny is the proud brother of our founder. Because one of these days we gotta get Jody's picture and we gotta pay homage to.
Get one of those from like 1992 when her senior picture, like her hair's touching both sides of the frame.
Well, she created a monster here in this show. Maybe not a monster, but it was her one single quote on Facebook. And Eddie Vonderheid's second quote saying, do not encourage these guys that lit the fuse.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, why not think of something? And then when my daughter, June, already has experience, well, we're off and running.
I mean, you're 9 episodes in now.
Yeah, I know. And we haven't been thrown off the air yet. Thank you, Spotify and YouTube. But guys, Denny, how do I say this? Yes, you were AD. Came here and you were green to that, obviously.
Yeah, I had no prior background. I just knew I loved Franklin County. I loved the kids that it produced, and it's where I wanted to be. And obviously, I came back with a sports background. But other than that, it was buckle up. Fortunate for me, Coach Stacy was able to stay on. And he gave me a lot of direction, a lot of guidance.
Not always positive.
Not always positive.
Sorry, Brad, we're keeping you in our thoughts there.
And so, but he kept me in line and kept me kind of focused. And so hopefully brought some energy and some passion that the school and the corporation enjoyed. But after 5 years, it was time to move on.
You know what? I was telling somebody, and you guys please add your comments into this. Obviously, Chuck Grimes AD a long time. There was other long-term athletic directors at lots of places. But I'm just saying now, and Dustin stayed 20 years, I hope. I think a lot of ADs now, a 5 year is almost a career.
It's a career.
Because it's just so much to it, especially with a family.
Yeah, one of the first things they make you do is you have to go to the state and take a couple courses up there, and all the new ADs have to go through it, and they go through bylaws and stuff like that. When I went through it, there was 81 new ADs that same year I was, and I think it's pretty normal as far as the turnover rate that it goes. And again, people talk about the time. The time never once bothered me because I loved watching the kids play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a diehard Wildcat. I want to see them. That never bothered me at all. Again, what bothered me was, to my own doing, is I was always available, and people knew Denny would fix it. And it got to the point where it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and my phone would ring.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy.
Not time to be fixed.
Right.
Yeah, it's not healthy. It's not great for a marriage. It's not great to be a dad. And so, it's at the same time that was happening. My dad got really sick, and it was just kind of like a collision course of things that said, "Hey, if you want to be around this earth to see your kids do some things, you better take a step back."
Well, and I remember the night. Now I'm going to say this honestly. After our baseball sectional was done, and I think it was maybe a night or two later where you texted me, my wife saw me answer the phone, and I literally dropped the phone. And I was like, I was like, is this a prank? Is this something? And I told her, I said, I don't know. I said, I'm in shock. I said, I'm literally sad because when we all work together, you have, we answer to you. A person like me does, answers to Brad, answer to Beth, answers to Dustin, Todd. But you also gain a friendship and a lot of camaraderie. If not, y'all shouldn't be doing it, meaning people like us. And then now Brandon, but I was like telling Julie, I said, I'm probably done being an announcer. Because I just had a little what happened? Something's upset. Because so many times, and I had Brad, and I asked Brad and Dustin this. I said, you have to, not only do you get to deal with the joy of seeing a team get better or the program rise or get better in different areas, let's face it, you have to deal with the dark side of it too. And a person, sometimes in my boat, will be immediately well, what was tournament night,
Right.
And then when we got to talk about it, I calmed down and you made the sense of the right point. But I tell you what, an athletic director and I've interviewed Rodney Klein and stuff like that, and just so much respect for you guys on that. But you made the right choice. Now, I do have a little beef, a little bit. Now, you ought to get more involved in St. Michael's. Now, your wife's been carrying the thing.
Yeah.
We're St. Michael here. We got St. Michael here. I think Travis, he played CYO back here, so he's got some St. Michael. But you had to coach against your wife,
I
didn't you?
did. So we did it at seventh grade. My wife and daughter were on the St. Michael's team. I coached the Franklin County team, and we played against each other. And our goal going into it was, because again, Wes Cox and I coached this kind of travel group together where there was 3 or 4 girls on the Franklin County team. There was 5 or 6 girls on the St. Michael's team. One, you're coaching against your wife, you're coaching against your daughter. And our goal to going into this was, hey, let's have a good time and enjoy each other and just kind of compete. That didn't last very long.
That didn't last too good.
It didn't last very long. And I'll be honest with you, there was probably 3 or 4 days after that game was over that my wife and I did not talk. Because, again, I was the worst human being known to man because she thought I was,
You won.
I won.
So we
and-
finally know that he
Correct.
won the game.
And I won, and she didn't like how I won, and thought that it was rough.
She's a true St. Michaeler, man.
Yeah. So after 3 or 4 days, we kind of had a little come to Jesus talk and kind of saw where both people were coming from. And then the next year, I went into Eric Ebram's office and I said, "Hey, I want to coach girls basketball again." Told Coach Van Meter this, but I will not coach against St. Michael's. I will not coach against my wife, and I will not coach against my daughter because it wasn't enjoyable. It wasn't enjoyable for the kids who their teammates. Otherwise, it was terrible for my wife. It was terrible for me.
It's got to put everybody in a different mindset.
Correct,
Yeah,
and again, we are some.
Very
Is
competitive.
it true that Travis has been coaching that game for you from now on?
He might have to.
Travis, get in there.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
The
Yeah, we
best,
got work
Young
on it.
coach speaks here.
the best part about this, again, it's all over with now, but the funniest part, I thought, the best thing of that night, I don't know who's reffing, they called a ball off Franklin County
Wasn't me.
that Kate hit out of bounds, and Kate's dying laughing. Denny goes, "That's my daughter. She's laughing at me. She hit it out. That's my daughter I'm calling against her." And Kate's dying laughing.
Yeah.
And Kate goes, looks at her dad, goes, "It was
She
off
blew
me."
the kiss.
And
I
I'm
know.
sitting there on the front row, and I'm dying laughing. Cause this is the funniest thing. Like that point, because you could tell tensions were high when you walked in. But that kind of little joking matter of Kate being like, "Ha ha ha," like whatever, Dad, and that was hilarious.
And you know what? Now I know the reason that scuttlebutt around Franklin County, we all know each other, now I know the reason that I'd heard that you'd cook supper for like 3 weeks.
At least
There was stew, there was grill outs, there was brisket,
Yeah.
tacos.
Yeah.
Travis gave you some recipes.
Yeah.
Not the bread made right now.
Breakfast for dinner, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was. We have a really. My wife has a nice picture where she's kind of in one huddle, I'm in the other, and it's an experience that I'm glad that we did it once, and no benefit to do it again.
The second time's not fun around, like when your dad's reffing your game. It's just not fun. The second
Well,
time.
and yeah,
I
we've
did
all
forget
got
the problems.
family on family here. Because was we doing a podcast that night, or was I? No, you guys want to know. I either had a podcast or a Masonic meeting the night you guys had to square off.
All I
You
know
and
is the picture that
and I wanted to be there.
the picture Kelly Worcester got for me was me chewing him out walking down the court because I was so mad at the terrible call he made.
No, that was a good call.
Sure.
Was it 3 seconds?
He
last
called it 3
second of the
seconds
game?
on a loose ball. I'm not mad about it. But the picture is me basically trying to be calm, but like yelling at him, and I have all my parents sitting behind me just dying laughing at me because like everybody knew what was going on.
Is that true that Denny Dorrel was in the crowd and yelled "Zip it" to you?
I think he walked
Zip
in.
it.
I think he had a game that night. And goes, "Best of luck to you,
Yeah.
kid," and walked out of the
Yeah,
gym. I think that was smart.
It was a drop the mic.
Yeah.
Denny Dorrel
Yeah.
dropped the
Yeah.
mic.
Best wishes, buddy.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And we all can tell story after story after story. Denny, I asked this question to Brad and Dustin. I'm going to give you my one version. I asked them if they'd ever had a panic moment. And obviously there was. And then I iterated a few memories of one that I thought the famous one for me was Todd Sackstetter, Gary Combs, and the buzzer at the football field. It wouldn't
Yeah.
go off. Brad Stacy's like, there's ladders, there's pliers, there's this. And Dustin said his. But I remember one day I was delivering, and you came out of the wooded area looking like you'd just been in a Rambo movie. You looked like you had a tomahawk knife and a bandana on, and you're clearing the cross-country
course
I
out.
said,
Yeah.
Denny Dorrel is now
Yeah.
Rambo,
The
the
Rambo,
Rambo
yeah.
athletic director.
Yeah, Stacy Nobby says this is the course and this is how it's supposed to go. And I didn't know cross country, but I knew how to do some manual labor.
He looked like he was just taking a jackhawk knife and cutting the trees down.
Yeah,
But you
crazy.
had it ready to go by that night, didn't you?
Great, yeah, crazy.
Oh my gosh.
There's a couple of those that I've had as far as like, oh my God. One moment was Brandon was a part of it, so it was when Chad Cox and that really good basketball team. The gym is packed. Bring Santa Claus in, and Santa Claus is throwing all these candy canes all over the place, and these candy canes get smashed all over the gym floor.
Oh, I didn't remember that. No.
And so the refs come out, the teams come out, and the refs look at me and say, "We can't start this until these candy canes are off the floor." The gym is full, right?
Yeah.
Teams are waiting, And so I grab the mop and I take off
I
running,
do remember.
That was fun.
pushing these candy canes off the floor. Obviously, I'm not in the greatest shape in my life. And Brandon gets on the music and starts playing the Rocky soundtrack. And the whole
where the heck I
the
was
whole
that
place
night.
is waiting on me to finish getting this thing mopped. And I'm about 3/4 of the way through, sweat pouring off of me. My boy runs out to me. He goes like, "You want me to take over?" And then Pride takes it. "No, I don't want you to take over. I'll finish this thing." But that's one for sure.
Is that when they were going
That's
Dorrel?
the second time I've seen him
Dorrel.
run across the gym floor. The one game, I was like, a Saturday morning or something, the fire alarm goes off in the building. No one knows how to get this thing shut off. Denny's like, we're all freaking out. Next thing you know, we just see Denny bolt down to the academic wing, and everybody's going, Denny, Denny, and he's fist pumping, getting everybody going. But that was a fun one too.
And then that baseball sectional that you talked about, when we played Carnersville at home, hosted the sectional championship, and the game is about ready to start, and the line of crowd is through the parking lot and out. And I'm standing there, and I have my wife taking tickets and somebody else taking tickets, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, what are we going to do? And I just start grabbing tickets and throwing money like crazy. There's no way that thing was balanced out right, because I was just trying to get these people in. But that was another one of those instances where I'm like, what have I done? What have I done?
I was up in the press box, obviously, but I remember trying to look around the outside of the primer. And in my life, we hosted sectionals in the Brookville days.
Yeah.
Well, there might be, even at a sectional, 80 people would have been a big crowd, Rob.
Good crowd,
agreed.
yeah.
That thing was unbelievable.
It
And
was
they were
4 or
loud.
5. It was
and they
4
were,
or 5 deep.
Yeah.
Down both sides,
Yeah.
or both
Thousands, there was a
baselines.
few thousand people there.
I tell you what, I'm going to breach this real quick, not to get off subject. But, Denny, as a young person, Huffy and Wes, they picked on you and played around with him, old Roger and all them, and tortured him probably, but then he got big enough he could spin him around. Airplane spin him like the Campbell brothers.
That's absolutely true. I tell Huffy this all the time. I told Roger this how many times. I was like, you guys picked on me 24/7 because they were the same age as my sister. And so they would come over to the house, and then they probably wanted to go play something and realized, we have an odd number here. You come with us. And the whole time we went, the whole time we played, until they brought me back home, tortured me. I mean, absolutely tortured me. And then that's funny. Now you stand next to Huffy, and you're like, just sit there and pat him on top of the head because he's about that tall.
Well, I know you've had to. I've poked the bear with Denny a few times when Mike Huff always would drive his car down the foul line. I'm like, Denny Dorrel, escort that man out.
Yeah.
Make him pay.
Make him pay.
But he would be sitting right behind you if he was
Yeah.
here tonight. But Denny, I want to breach this real quick. Denny, as a younger man, I really wasn't involved with Brookville or Franklin County High School sports during that time or nothing. So I just know he played and he was good, and he's a good guy. But I never really knew you really personally, other than that's Denny Dorrel, until you became the AD. But I had a tremendous relationship with his father and his mother, and knew Jody well, because Jody was only about 5 years younger than me. And I got to play baseball for your dad, him and Ed Ballman, and we in the very first or second episode, I think Wes and me and Huff and Wes each said something about a coach and influences.
Yeah.
And I just kind of mentioned all the ones, but the one I said about your dad was your dad, he was kind of green when he first started coaching baseball. Yeah. He had a lot to learn still, but he was the coach that I respected him as coach. And we had a great last year. So much fun. But somehow me and him just became great friends immediately. Yeah. Like, it became this friendship. And I looked up to him and I respected him. But he'd take us golfing. You still got it warmed my heart. And you still have his golf bag.
The wooden club.
But your dad I stayed proud to say that I was friends with him the rest of my life. Yeah. And so enjoyed him, teasing with him. He could tease us back. He wouldn't look at us. We're like, Danny, you hear us. Don't. And then he goes, like, they still wouldn't look at you. Yeah. But, did you get to play for your dad in Little League?
I did not. First off, he would have loved this thing.
Oh God, we'd have had him on.
Like my dad would have absolutely loved this thing. Would have kept refreshing the computer until he saw that this episode pop up.
He would have got up from midnight to watch it.
Yeah, he would have enjoyed the heck out of it. But I did not. So when I got to the major leagues, so Dad coached it in the major leagues down at the fairgrounds up until I went in. And once I went in, he stopped and just kind of became Dad at that point. So I never got to play for him. One time he helped out in youth football in like 2nd or 3rd grade. But no, never got to play for my dad. It's probably a good thing because I think he tried to teach me enough lessons out on the farm that would have lasted a lifetime.
I tell you what, between his activity in 4-H and guarding the restroom area back there, and he just was a guy to have so much. And your mom, top-notch person. She drove my daughters. Absolutely. They loved her. Yeah. And I hope her health's doing well. I think she just had a birthday, didn't she?
Just had a birthday, and her and Dad would have had an anniversary again here the day before. So, again, she's doing well.
Top notch.
Very fortunate that I was raised by 2 completely different people. I mean, completely different people. And I think my coaching style when I coached, I'm a pure mixture of both of them. Because there's my dad's discipline side that I definitely believed in, but there was a amount of affection that you were missing that my mom supplied.
Sure.
Yeah, and so when those two came together, I think that's how I was able to somewhat be successful as a coach. And,
so how you carried yourself.
Yeah, I am. And again, every day I always thought I was more like my mom. But now that I'm back on the farm every day,
I've seen some Dan moments.
There's a lot of Dan in there for sure.
I tell you what, it made me feel good because we hadn't got to talk as much as we were when you were being AD. When I heard that you were moving back to the place, and they would be thrilled with that, and changing or getting it to comfortable for you and your young family and stuff. But that's just a great thing, and you're closer to these guys.
Absolutely.
Travis right up the road. I mean, you got the mayor you got Huff not too far away in Old Palestine.
Yeah.
But wasn't it the day you moved the giant rock that the tornado came? Was that the same day you moved that boulder?
Was that same day?
I don't know, but it was brutal.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was brutal.
Yeah, I heard war stories about that. Travis had to come over and pick it up.
Yeah.
I've never seen this man terrified for his life on a bobcat before that day.
Yeah, that was rough.
But
Well, I got a couple questions.
oh gosh,
5 years you've been doing it. We're doing it. Well, what's your? I mean, I think the athletic field for football.
Absolutely.
Tell us how that.
Oh, gosh.
Tell us how that worked out.
Yeah.
And tell us the real story on how these became.
Oh,
I mean,
there you go.
I know I've mentioned it once, but it'd be kind of
Give
interesting.
insight.
Your story on how
Talks about
that
every
came
year.
around.
Yeah, so the football field, obviously we're pretty proud of it. But the superintendent, previous Tammy Chavis, was a big proponent of getting it done. And so I was a big proponent of getting it done. And so there was some money in a bond that came available, and put some heads together, and we were able to get it. So definitely something that when you sit there from the lake and look down, you know what I mean, and it's a complete marketing piece that's always there and it's always available. And now baseball team can get out there and practice on them. Their field's not great. The softball team can. Or tracks out there running around.
Soccer.
Yeah, soccer uses it. Football uses it. It's definitely a multi-purpose facility. And
the youth programs.
Yeah, youth programs are using it like crazy. Gym classes are out there throughout the day, and so very, very fortunate with it, and happy that Tammy Chavis and the school board at that time backed me into getting that done. The Chuck-a-Duck. So when we were at Bluffton, they had a thing like this, and they called it Heave a Beeve, because the Bluffton was the Beavers, and they only did it like once a year. And so you would go in, you'd walk in, and then you would buy these rubber beavers, and then people would throw them. And so I thought it was neat, thought it was cool. So when we came back here, I was sitting in the office with Tanya Wirtz, and I said, "Hey, I got an idea." I said, I want to do something like this. And I said, so we got on the internet and started searching around. The basketball-looking ducks popped up, and I said, hey, we could call this Chuck-a-Duck. And then lo and behold, she says, absolutely. She goes, what if we took this money and raised it towards cancer? And I was thinking to myself, maybe we would do this, 3 or 4 times a year. And now it's every boy's game, it's every girl's game.
It's a big thing.
It is
So I think it's been 7 years now, and it averages like $2,200-$2,300 a year. I mean, that's $15,000 that's been raised for cancer research by a duck.
There's a lot of other schools and
now taking over.
Did you see that one?
Also, yeah.
I did not.
You all have seen it a bunch of times. Rob Cowen special.
Look at
Coach's
it.
Corner Crew.
Coach's Corner Crew duck. But you go to other places and you can see they have tried to adopt
Mimic
it
it,
and
whatever,
mimic it, and you're all falling short, by the way. Again, I think it's a compliment, and but just like in anything, Friend County's just going to try to do it better.
Well, along with, I've been waiting to do this for a while now, just so you know. Along with your Chuck-a-Ducks, Denny Dorrel likes to come up with a bunch of games.
Yeah, he's a game show.
So I'm going to test you on one of your games here.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
going to play a song for you, Mr. Dorrel.
That's
right.
When I stop the music, I need you to
Wow.
please finish the lyrics, sir.
Yes.
You're gonna get a T-shirt though.
Just,
Yeah.
Burkhart's did not donate a T-shirt for tonight. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Wait.
I am a Swiftie, by the way.
This may not be her. Go ahead.
Now you got me.
Oh, I'll start over.
He choked.
I choked.
He confused him. Do you want the microphone up closer?
Oh, here. Let me play. Make sure the listeners can.
Let's
I'm
hear that.
gonna start over.
Let's-
All right. Players gonna play, and the haters gonna hate, and I'm just gonna so shake it off, shake it off.
Woo! I tell you what, we've had singing on this show before.
Yeah.
But
Been
I
banned.
think you
No,
might
no,
have
what-
Yeah.
made it away.
Officer Volker picked that song up.
Did he?
No, is it true that I got asked one time when I was announcing, is that guy an AD or a game show host?
Game show host.
And I said he wants to be both. When he plays Price is Right at his
Yeah.
house, he acts it out. He's
Yeah.
Drew Carey, he's Bob Barker.
Absolutely.
But I think, oh my God.
I've been waiting so long
Yeah,
to get
that's
him on this
funny.
one.
He did good. We got
that's
him shook
funny.
out there. For
I know he's a Swifty
Yeah.
guy. We got him confused.
If I would have been doing it, it'd have been a Meatloaf song.
Yeah.
I'd have had him shaking his hand in a tuxedo. And all kinds
I
of-
mean, my senior year.
was that your idea? Whose idea was the lyrics?
Finish the lyric.
It's all
Yeah.
him.
Okay.
So my senior year was COVID year, and again, another great idea of making kids sing. We had to sing "Lean on Me" because that was our motto that year for athletics.
Joe Clark.
So he made every senior athlete had to do a. He would legit emailed you out the time you started and stopped of your singing and mashed the song together of all our senior athletes that year.
That was I do remember.
Wow.
That was during COVID, and
Yep.
so it was kind of the message was, hey, we're all going through this together. Just lean on the person next to you.
Well,
But
good. You know
Yeah.
what? You brought up the timing. COVID year. Was that your
Awful.
second year?
awful.
I mean, I always said
Awful.
in that era of that span that all coaches, all administrators, all everything get a free pass for that year because no precedent, no anything.
There was no way laid out to say
Yes.
this is how you do it.
It
Yeah.
was how you ever. Was that your second year?
It was
Third year?
It was second. My senior was your second year.
second year, second
Okay.
full year, yeah.
Good gosh! Plus everybody knew the financial pitfalls of
But
it. too.
so it was my second full year, but the next year was actually the hard year because his senior year it just got shut down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you obviously had a lot of
You
kids
were
you
the
had to
lead.
face to say, I'm sorry, but your spring season is over. But the next year was the awful one where they come out with all these guidelines and regulations
Yeah.
where you're trying to get these kids to be able to play. Our football team went to go play East Central, and our whole JV team got put on quarantine from the day before. So we went to go play East Central with 19 players. That game, there's different things I remember. But I remember our girls basketball team. I got a phone call that says, I can't remember the team, Edinburgh maybe, that they had a player that just tested positive, and we had just played them, so they wanted to let us know. And the rule was that if you were within 6 feet of somebody for 5 minutes, right? They had all these like crazy rules. Within 5 minutes, then you had to be quarantined, and so it was a JV player, and Nicole Mears at the time, obviously one of the greatest to ever do it at Franklin County. She was playing a little bit of JV and a lot of varsity. So I took a stopwatch, and anytime Nicole Mears came within 6 feet of this girl, I would start the timer. And then if the girl went away from her, then I would stop the timer to see if Nicole was under the 5-minute mark, so that way she would not have to get quarantined. That was my reason and rationale, because I'm competitive as all get out. I didn't want to take a game away from Nicole. Did I follow the rule I think so,
Technically, yeah.
But the spirit of the rule, I definitely,
It's almost like
definitely destroyed it.
It's almost like the lightning strike.
Yeah.
When we're, sometimes I get put in charge of that. You're like, I don't know if that was a lightning strike.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Or
Everybody
worse, way more.
look the opposite direction. But there was things like that, and you couldn't win. Like there were so many things, and then they let us back in, and that was when we had a pretty darn good basketball team, and I'm sitting there trying to get as many people in there to see these guys as possible, and then people are criticizing me because I'm saying pack the house. Well, how you going to pack the house when it was a no-win situation, and thank God it's over.
Well, and I pray for people's health and kids and parents and everything, that we never go through that again. It was just such a unprecedented thing. But that's a good point about everything just basically quit.
Mm-hmm.
But so that was done, and there's no decision making. But all the battle afterward, never really thought of it in that way. I'm sure we did back at that time when some of us were involved. But good point on that.
And along with that, so I had to buy these thermometers for every one of our teams, and so our girls soccer and our boys soccer team would practice out in the field. Well, from the parking lot to the dugout, right, is 200 feet. If they're walking across in 97-degree weather in August, then you're going to sit there and you're going to scrape across their head to see if they have a temperature.
Right.
Well, it's probably going to be a little bit elevated.
Yeah.
And then we had to write all those things down and try. It was miserable.
How did you keep Brad Stacy off the ledge on that?
That's good.
He might have just
I'll
said,
just on the boat dock.
Yeah.
Brad's like, Denny, this is why you get paid the big bucks. Yeah. But again, the unsung things that I think are a part of that job. But tell us about your new job. You're, of course, still in the throes of involvement.
Yeah.
But the new job, tell us about that.
Yeah, so I teach. I have 3 periods of health. I have 3 periods of lifting and 1 period of lifetime sports. So I went from I enjoy the heck out of the teaching part of it. People ask me all the time, what do I miss about coaching? I miss the daily interactions of building a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To where you can sit there and be in a meeting room and you can interact and see how these people connect to you and how is your message getting across and how you can tweak all that kind of stuff. And so the 5 years as the athletic director, I missed that part. And then being back in the classroom has allowed a lot of that to come back because I can sit there and interact with those kids the way that I missed and what I think I'm pretty good at. So teaching, then go home and if I'm not coaching something, we mess around with some pigs and some sheep and
Go home and see Goldie.
Go home and see Goldie and make sure.
Wait a minute. I got to ask.
Keeps me in line.
I hadn't talked to your wife much till one night she sat down with us in the corner crew. And the game, I don't know if he was winning or losing, but it wound up just to be this humongous. Of course, I was talking to her and Jody's husband about St. Michael's.
Yeah.
And then the 4-H talk got started. But I kind of forget, because I'm going to possibly get upset here. What's your 4-H club?
We're an Oxford.
OPP.
Oh, okay.
Oxford
He's
Pike
one of you
Pioneers.
guys.
Yeah.
He's not part of the Empire.
No, I'm one of those.
You're not the Empire. Do you know who the Empire is?
Is that the Wickham Boosters?
Of course it
yeah,
is.
the Wickham Boosters.
Yeah, the Wickham. Sorry, the Landings. We love
Yeah,
you.
Quentin and Patsy.
Quentin and all them.
Yeah.
You start
OPP for life.
He's old. OPP.
So,
Vice president 2 years in a row.
Hey, well, my club got malfunked years ago. Mike Huff got to be in it for 1 year, and then they changed name. I was a Springfield Aggie,
Yeah.
president of Springfield Aggies, by the
That's
way.
the reason why it
Which
went
is that even a? There's no Aggies.
I never heard of
They're
that.
not Aggies no more. It's something else.
Danny Dorrel would have been like, he'd have went like this to that club.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were just
Never-
a
never-
JV.
Yeah, JV team.
But there was no Oxford Pioneers
No.
back then.
So
They
my
started
first year,
1988.
my first year of 4-H was the first year of the Oxford Pike Pioneers.
Golly,
So
and you were the member of that.
Oh yeah.
And you guys all were.
Yep.
Golly, me and Mike Huff, the only Springfielders. I think they changed their name to the Champs or something. I don't know. But at least you weren't part of the Empire.
Yeah.
Even Kelly Naylor was a part of
Kelly
that.
That's part of
Naylor.
Empire.
Your old friend Kelly Naylor.
Yeah.
That's part
Kelly, we know you were a Springfield Aggie in the beginning. He left for the Empire.
The other day we're trying to buy a new leg press machine for the weight room, and so that's who I go through.
Oh, yeah, of
Everything
course.
I go through is Kelly Naylor, and so I sent him. I said, "This is what I'm looking for, and I want the Rob Allen discount."
He probably
Yeah.
jacked the price
And
up.
he goes, "You always get the Rob Allen discount."
Yeah. He'll drive a new Mercedes every time you get a new order.
Yeah.
But Kelly, we miss you. We love you. He's down in Florida now, and he does a great job. But we would get him on here one day if I ever could get the original CYOers. Kelly take over. We called him Steve Alford.
Yeah.
And I don't think he shot like Steve Alford. Greg Hughes was Steve Alford. That's Greg. You're always listening. He was Steve Alford. We always called him that. But guys, you got any questions for this guy? I mean, we can ask him 5 gazillion different things, but as far as I'm going to ask you. Okay, you want some controversy? Let's get controversial. I should let Rob do this. He's good at controversy. Let's just say 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Any chance you'd like to coach again at the high school or college level? Your kids are on their own doing their thing.
Yeah,
Granted, that means
right.
grandkids could be in the horizon. I mean, 10 years is a little far, maybe. Maybe I should say.
15.
Yeah, some. Would you ever want that again?
of.
Granted,
Say 15.
At the college level, probably. I mean, especially the way it is now, it is insane. It's crazy. The stuff that I talked about before, enjoying building the programs and building the team and developing men, that's gone.
That's all changed.
Yeah, that is
Money.
that is no more. Even I had one of my really good friends who was the offense coordinator at Thomas More, which is the Division II level, and he's losing players left and right.
even in the lower
in the
levels.
lower levels,
Even okay.
they're
Or
losing.
the different divisions. I
Because you
should say
can't
lower.
coach hard anymore. You can't coach like Brad Stacy anymore and get up in somebody, and
Yep.
those days are over. So I don't like at the high school. I don't know. I think we have great coaches at Franklin County.
Oh, sure.
I love all of them, and I think they all do a great job. And my job is I'm going to cheer the heck out of them because they're our coaches and they do a great job. And so I support them, and I hope that they continue to do what they do.
Well, 10 years from now, hey, you never know. I know you wouldn't want to do it here in the current because you got kids coming up. And like I said, we've got good, solid people in every position, really. But any more questions for this guy that I'm forgetting?
I wouldn't really
Not
say.
on the air.
I don't think it's really a question, but you and I talk. You give me a hard time all the time. Like it's gonna be my job one day, AD and stuff. But if it wasn't for him, there's like no way I'd be where I'm at right now.
Well,
Junior year of high school, starting out doing stuff little bit by here, and then those 5 years, and I thought, oh, I'm done. This is my career it's over with. But then Dustin come in too. But a lot of the stuff of learning is all from this guy from probably 2-3 years old, if not before that. Between 4-H school and then all the athletic directing stuff and learning all that side of it, I dedicate all to him and Brad Stacy all the time. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
well, then my controversial question will go to you
Oh,
because I
jeez.
meant to bring this
No,
up.
I don't do that. I don't do all
Danny,
that move.
you're not soft. You won't get hurt by this. So be ready. Rob, console him if he gets hurt.
Could I work for this guy?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
Okay.
He will
Is
never
it
hire
true
a rep, I can tell you
that
that.
once in a while, he's got this maybe a little bit from Brad, but that he didn't ask you, he told you like, Cowan, play my music.
Oh, well,
And we
he's
were like,
his
there
dad.
Mike Hubbs
Well,
like, he's bossing him around.
I wouldn't.
Bossing him around.
The only song that
Play my music.
there's one song, two songs I would never play, and he would
Rascal
yell at me for
Flatts.
not playing it. I would never play the Baby Shark song,
Oh,
and he would go, "You are playing it. The kids love it." I'm
The
like,
kids
"Denny,
love
I
it."
hated this song. I'm not playing. You are playing it." I'm like, okay.
Denny, is it true you had to give a command instead
about
of
the
a
only
request?
song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, again, love his kid to death, love his family to death. Yeah, every once in a while, you got to put your foot
Play.
down.
The only
my
other
music.
one would be Brad Stacy. I'd be sitting in first
Oh.
period class. I get text, Diet Dew stats.
Stat.
So I have to go get down and get Denny's keys to get Brad a Diet Dew to walk back to class.
I tell you, that guy. Well, we've already had him on in that episode. We already know what happened.
Those were fun days.
But you guys have done a great job, and you're doing a great job, and we're glad you're involved with the coaching and anything youth and 4-H. We're just glad, and we're glad you came on here today.
Yeah.
You can come on to it anytime.
And you say that about Brad Stacy, like, that's my guy. That's been my guy since, probably 1993, 94. And he was one, like, my dad stopped coaching baseball, and then Terry Stacy drafted me, and then after that, then Rob Cowen came in and took over as my coach.
Man, I forgot about his coaching.
Yeah, so Rob was my coach for probably 2-3 years, but Coach Stacy, just like his dad and just like my dad, there was one way to get something out of somebody. And that's to push them, and so
He definitely did that.
yeah. So much for who I am today. Yeah, I think a lot of it goes to my parents, my sisters, goes to people like Rob, but a lot of it goes to Brad Stacy. So, Coach, love you, bud.
Well, he's a good one. We tease him and this, and he teases us back. And sometimes it ain't teasing. Talk about things you can get as a non-request.
Yeah.
And I still get that quite a bit, but we do. We love him, and Dustin's doing a good job.
Absolutely.
And Dustin came in, and I've talked to him about it numerous times. In a similar situation, granted he had the administration background,
Right.
but a different animal as different job roles, job setting. He came in a lot like you did, where he had to start that AD kind of from a scratch thing on his end. Meaning,
Yeah.
granted, you stayed and helped. Brad did too, and he's always been eternally grateful for that. But
And Dustin was the principal during COVID too. So
yeah,
like both of us, I mean, there was times where we would just like look at each other like, what are we doing? Like, how in the world are we going to get through this? But we did, and big part of it was just because he and I had a good relationship, and we definitely leaned on each other for sure.
Well, and again, we always tip our hat and are proud to be a part of anything Franklin County, and the people who I've got to work for and with. I say it a million times. The listeners and viewers always, it's like, well, there's Rob saying it again, but it's because we appreciate it. But and we'll continue to appreciate the good work that's done. But hey, we're on now. We're at the Final Four. Our last episode, it was right before
And
the
they're all number
tip-offs
ones.
of the games.
They're all
My
number
my
seeds.
one pick was wrong, and of course Yale. Zippo immediately gets beat. But tell us something, Travis. You lead the way. You started off.
Travis
Tell-
Hayes leading.
That's not
Travis
the Bills.
Hayes
It's not
Kate's
the Bills.
leaving.
No. Who do you want to win? Of who's left, or what's been exciting for you in the
Bucks aren't
tournament
playing, by the way.
for basketball?
Basketball, I don't know. I enjoy watching, I guess, about like anybody else does, but I mean, just watching, I guess I've watched more Duke basketball this year, I guess, just because all the hype, I guess, but I mean, that's a good basketball team.
Do you-
They're good.
Who
Yeah, Houston's good too.
the four number ones? Is it the first time?
First time
Second
since
time,
2008.
first time since
Okay.
2008.
I was forgetting.
Both those Final Fours were played in San Antonio too.
Really?
Yeah, if you're wondering.
Okay. Travis, okay, we only got 4 teams left. Who's your winner out of the 4 now? You get to pick
Duke.
first. Duke.
I'm going to take Duke.
Rob Cowen, what's been your... I'm a little vague on the tournament this year because really the most game... I've only watched one full game, and that was Purdue.
Yeah, so that's been my man. Yeah, I kind of got screwed there at the end of the game, but it is what it is.
Opinionated.
But
Always.
Auburn's looking good too. But I think Duke's wanted to something about
Auburn's good too. Yeah.
Bruce
all good.
Pearl.
There's something about Houston that just
interesting
seemed to
dude.
be able to get that job done too. So I'm kind of the only one I.
We just named 3 of the 4 teams.
Yeah, which one's your winner? Who's
Not a
your winner?
Florida guy,
Wait a
apparently.
minute.
I want to go Duke because all will go Duke.
We got 2 Dukes. Denny Dorrel. You're in the 3-hole.
Yeah, so I picked Florida from the beginning. And so I picked Florida over Duke. And I'm still going to ride with them. So
Florida Gators.
Gators.
Jeez,
Chomp,
he thinks
chomp.
he's Steve Spurrier or Wayne Foster. Who in the heck's their head coach? Florida.
Todd Golden is his name.
Okay.
So he's been there for like 3
I
years.
was about to say Billy Donovan.
And was at San Francisco, and then they pulled him over to Florida in 3 years. Now he's got him in the Final Four. So
Final Four.
Oh, so you're going Florida.
I'm going Gators.
All right, your choice, your chance.
Well, if you go off my bracket to win in my classroom, I have Auburn beating Duke in the finals. So
Bruce Pearl.
that's
Is that who you're going with?
that's what my bracket says, and
Okay.
that's what I told my students: be better than I am. And if I win that game, I beat all my students, and I'm in second place. One kid has me beat right now. So it'll come down to he has Duke and I have Auburn, so I'm pulling for Auburn.
What's been your favorite moment of the tournament? I might have skipped Denny's on that. Well, an upset. There really wasn't that dramatic upset this year as
Not like there have been.
Yeah.
I think with the NIL the way it is, those days are
that
over.
could be about over.
Yeah.
Yeah, those days are over. Your Cinderellas and because if you're good at 22 years old, you're not playing for a small school anymore.
Well, and let's face it, it almost made the Purdue game seem like it would have been Purdue number 4,
Yeah.
Big Ten contender, great team. It almost would have seemed like that's the hugest upset of the tournament.
Right.
I mean, in a way, but
I mean, the biggest one was Arkansas over St. John's.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
probably
but that
it.
was my
Yeah.
supposed.
I think a lot of people had St. John's probably.
I did.
I
was-
I
yeah,
did wear a white
yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
Should have worn white.
Rick Pitino, you let me down, Coach.
My favorite moment was when there was like 2.2 seconds to go in this game, and there's just Houston, I think was the team's name, and they ran this out of bounds play
Oh,
underneath,
God, here he goes.
and they threw it to this guy, and he threw it right back to the inbounder because their All-American point guard decided to go guard somebody out the 3-point line and left the
That sounds like a jibe.
left the
The inbounder.
left the inbounder wide open.
Yeah.
I don't remember who that team was,
Yeah.
but definitely one of my favorite moments.
Well,
If you
Friday
want to
night-
get
Friday night game or
controversial,
Saturday morning
spoken
game?
from a good old Bob Knight.
if you want to get controversial, should have been a charge before that happened. But whatever, don't care. Like I say every year, Purdue makes the Sweet 16. I'm happy no matter the outcome.
Yeah.
What seed was IU this year though?
We're getting a new coach, baby.
Yeah.
New coach and new players.
Yeah, you have 7 guys.
New players.
Purdue just hit their third one. Colvin hit the portal today. Purdue, by the way.
Realistically,
Miles
IU should
Coleman
have made it in
portal.
instead of North Carolina.
Oh,
Yeah,
1,000%.
Yeah.
IU got jibbed. They should have made it. They should have made it in there.
No.
When the
I
North
think so.
Carolina
No,
athletic director's on the selection committee, that's a problem.
I get it.
And
Because
guys,
that
You
that
get
was,
that controversy every year.
it is.
And it's
To
not
me
making it.
personally, I
Yeah.
get that I use pedigree because of their losses were to major teams. But I was just
North
so
Carolina's-
frustrated with IU. I was
Yeah.
glad to see them.
Let's get it over with and
And-
move on.
And I didn't even say my winner. I can't go against Duke because now that I've watched them play more,
They're
They're
good.
good.
Matt Davis was like, "This is the best Duke team, best Duke team." I'm like, "Come on, it can't be the best Duke team," but they're good, and now their style. And you got and Auburn.
Yeah.
Bruce Pearl's got some
He's got
thing.
something.
Denny's going with Florida. I don't know.
Take Houston.
I'll go Houston. I'll go with old cheat.
Calvin
No
Sampson
cheat.
lover.
No,
Gee,
I'm
man,
doing that for you,
Chris.
Doug Kuntz. Old
I
cheat,
thought I'd
No
like
cheat.
that guy.
but the guy who knows how to win a dang game.
He is good at what he
But
does.
he,
He's good at cheating too.
well, he was good at it. But his stuff now, well, there is no anymore. You just buy the guys. But Denny hit that on a point. I think we all did. Seeing the 4 number ones. Here's get ready, coaches, corner crew fans. It's R.A. curmudgeon moment again. It's just changing everything with this buyout, this thing. There's certain elements that make it exciting. For example, IU football. They were able to make their team very relevant immediately. We were fans of that. It was exciting.
He needs to coach basketball.
But
too. Just
for
double
crying
down.
out loud, like you said, it's getting to be now where you're almost, even in basketball, where you could write down maybe 8, let's just say 10 teams, and that national champion is going to be one of them 10
Right.
teams.
So he kind of touched on that earlier a little bit though too. Like even like football, like you said, basketball, with the way this is now the NIL, what is it doing to these other schools?
Transferring to
No.
school, it's killing them.
It's making them. They keep saying it's like AAA now.
Yeah, it's a farm.
Mid-majors,
it's a farm
AAA.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I looked at the graphic and it said like the Sweet 16 teams, their starting 5. Where do they start college at? Purdue was 5-5. Michigan State was 4-5. But all these other teams, like I couldn't even tell you what team that is. When you got 5 guys that started college at 5 different schools now competing for a national championship, it's unreal.
No,
I mean, I think Duke had 3 of them, but a lot of them are like, you're lucky if you have one kid that started at that college to play.
Yeah, and that's crazy. That who was the team that every point scored was a guy who wasn't on the team in one of the games. He wasn't even on the freaking team.
Last year.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
Like
But-
you're missing on your Florida Gulf Coast, the
Oh my
Dunk
God.
City year, your UMBC, your Loyola Chicago.
Richmond
Butler,
State.
the old
I
days.
mean, all those teams that are smaller D1s that just it makes it fun. You know, there wasn't, like you said, there wasn't any big upsets because of the NIL money. It's
Well-
just in transfer portal, it's crazy.
And we touched just briefly. Got a new IU coach. You know how I feel about IU Purdue. I explained all that in the pilot. Being a fan of both. Granted, I've been way more Purdue in the last years. But IU, this new coach, he wasn't a guy who I knew much about. I think he's got a good pedigree.
Right.
I think he's a good game coach from what I've heard. I don't know much about him. I knew more like about Chris Beard, and I never thought Brad Stevens was in play.
Yeah.
I think he's set with the Celtics
Yeah.
forever. If he would have been back in coaching by now, in my thinking.
He would-
Other coaches, names thrown out, Billy Donovan's, blah blah blah. Steve Alford, that's never going to happen there. And I'm a Steve Alford fan, but that's never going to happen at IU. But this new guy, he's got a lot of work to do. He's obviously going to have to play the switch around team because there's IU guys leaving left and right,
Right.
which isn't all that bad of a thing.
No, they just Tim Garrell, the athletic trainers that's been there since Bobby Knight.
Yeah.
They got rid of him today.
Oh my gosh.
They got rid of Tim Garrell.
Andy Walter,
Yeah.
your man who he had to work for. Andy was
Yeah.
a trainer.
They said they basically want a total reset.
Well,
Well, this guy's good at resetting. He did
Yeah.
last year.
So he's
Um,
Tim Garrell's gone.
But
yes. Hey, real quick, because this guy's got to go. Give us an update us on what's coming on in the spring for FC. We're in the thralls of it. now.
So baseball was supposed to start Wednesday. They actually just moved it to tomorrow night game
What?
now. Yeah, baseball just got moved. I got the text.
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
What time's that start?
Same
Everybody
time,
call
but
Rob.
you're in the group text. You just have it on your phone. My
I guess
watch went
phone's
off.
over there.
So baseball's now
yikes.
starting tomorrow.
At 5
um,
o'clock?
5:30, whatever the time was originally.
I'll have to tell them Masonic guys to be late there.
man.
I don't want to miss the
Softball.
opener.
Softball starts this week. I think they play Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Saturday's their first home one against Connorsville, weather pending, obviously.
This
Weather.
next 5-7 days, or
It's gonna
Weather's
be
just depend on everything.
to starting
Ruby's not
starting
playing
off the
softball.
spring season with this weather is not
No,
an
it's
80s
a
dream.
nightmare this spring.
It's the worst.
Ruby's not playing softball this year.
no.
Okay. But, so what else? When's track start?
Track's already started. They've done indoor stuff. Outdoor stuff's slowly coming about. They just had indoor state last weekend, so they're starting to transition. Tennis is, I think, a few weeks out still.
Okay.
Boys golf starts later in April,
The mighty Dylan Hubers.
and
Who just got engaged?
Just
just
engaged.
got
Yes.
engaged, yeah.
Dylan
See,
Huber
wow,
loves love.
Dylan Huber loves it.
Oh,
Oh,
hey,
loves
as
love.
Marty Brenneman said, ain't love grand.
And love Grant.
Good job, Dylan. We're proud of you.
Congratulations.
But so
But
golf's coming up.
Golf's
yeah.
coming up, tennis, track, all that.
You know what? Can we get? Sorry, we're doing a technical question and a sports question. I've been wanting to maybe interview Jerry, Dan,
Who?
Jerry
Coons.
Coons,
Jeremy?
Jeremy. I call him
Like,
Jerry.
who's Jerry?
Big Jer, we always call
Big
him.
Jerry.
One of my old CYOers. Daniel and the Pearlieberg wanted to come on. Is the internet access in the press box good enough to where I could do this up there? Because that'd be a cool place to have the field
We
behind.
could get a hot.
Tomorrow,
If we get a hot spot, we can do it.
On the football, in the football
And the
one.
football.
Oh yeah, no,
the
it's good.
football one.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
well,
no,
okay,
Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
meant.
yeah, there's a
with the
Wi-Fi
fields
password,
looking
yeah.
out.
That doesn't
So
work
we
around.
might
Yeah.
try to
Yeah,
get that
that's
set
fine.
up.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
get it figured out. But
Because
yeah,
I know Big Jer would like to. I know Pearlieburg's reached out, and I think Daniel Ward, who has made some of the little promos for us here and been a helper with us. He's track coach, isn't he?
Yep.
And if any of of course, the tennis people or anybody, they're all welcome. Oh, that's Michael. That's
Michael and then
Yeah.
Dylan for golf.
right. And Dylan, you're welcome
Baseball
too.
fields there too.
So it'd be cool. I thought it'd be a
Yeah.
cool setting
That'd be
because
good.
next fall I'd like to interview Wes and the soccer coaches in the press box with the field behind us.
Yeah.
So
We'll work
so
on that.
we'll have to work on that. So we got spring stuff getting ready to, and thanks for the
Yeah.
Julie. You heard that. My wife Julie.
She
Masonics out tomorrow night. I'm going to be at the
This
baseball.
doesn't get aired till Friday
This ain't
midnight.
gonna
You
Friday
night.
guys already get home.
I know.
Oh, I just not.
But now I could have bowled on Wednesday for crying
I'm
out
supposed to
loud.
bowl tomorrow night for Austin, but I ain't bowling now.
Well, I tell you what. It,
I got to find another side.
Happy birthday tomorrow, Austin.
Yeah, Austin.
Happy
happy
birthday.
birthday, the wrestling man. And now we've got the baseball season. Denny,
26.
of all your sports
What's that?
to follow as a fan,
As a fan,
what's your favorite sport? As a fan, not so much that your kids are involved in it, but just as a fan.
growing up, it was college basketball, 100%. With IU's not so great record here in the last 15 years, it's probably switched to NFL. I would
Okay.
say.
Hey,
But
baseball.
I'm a homer guy. Like far as anybody, I like the teams around.
Sure.
Right. So I'm a Bengals, Reds, Pacers, Indiana Hoosier team guy. So, but right now, yeah, the Bengals are probably the team. That's
There you
the
go.
best.
Look at that.
Who day, baby.
There you go. Got to have some defensive players, but other than that, we're going to do good. Me, I love NFL, and I still wish I loved the NBA like I used to. But baseball season, as you can see here tonight, folks, we got some of my mom's. I'm not a person to collect bobbleheads. These were actually from my mom. She loved Billy Hamilton.
Yeah.
She Johnny Bench one that I just happened to
The
luckily got.
referee or the-
She saw Homer Bailey pitch a no hitter, and that one somebody just gave me.
I got a Johnny Gomes bobblehead.
Johnny
Gomes.
Gomes.
Oh,
Johnny Gomes.
gamer
I
man,
got a bunch.
he was a gamer for the Reds. But we're excited about baseball
What about
season.
the torpedo bats the Yankees are using that are illegal, by the way.
Oh,
They're
God.
crushing home runs.
Well, I do like the Yankees, but I'm not a fan of all that stuff. I don't know. I don't like. I'm this way even about sports that I play or did play. Softball when you would use the hot bats. I didn't like it. Now they were like, well, it's because you couldn't hit a home run even with a hot bat. Oh, okay, fine, whatever. I never like anything that takes. This is a little kumbaya, but takes away like the purity of the sport. I like things just stay normal. That's never going to happen. Just
Shot clock in
innovation.
basketball.
Do you quit here? That's a good question. I've said my piece on that before. Maybe not on the show. Do you ever think that we're going to see a shot
No.
clock
It
in
is
high
I
coming.
think
school?
so, yeah.
You
I
just
think
come-
so.
I was already.
See, I don't think we will.
Oh, we will.
No, I from everything I see, your National Basketball Association, whatever.
Is there
they've
any
already
state?
approved it.
Illinois
They
has
use
it right
it.
now.
Illinois is doing
Okay.
it. Iowa
Illinois
did
did,
test
Illinois
it.
just put it out.
Um,
I think it's coming.
I think it's
yeah,
just
I
gonna
really
come.
do.
well, here you want to hear my reasons why? Shortage of refereeing.
You do.
That means you got to have an official watching that thing. That can't be me or Tanya or Dave Kaiser watching that thing. That's a whole different animal. You got to have your own person on that. The equipment to buy it, another thing that's got to work and know how to operate it.
It's got to work.
And yeah, it's got to work.
And you got
And
somebody running.
Hey, we have a good
Gotta have
maintenance
somebody
guy that
run
can
it,
set it up
but-
for us, though, right?
But I don't know, Denny. I don't know if I don't know. That's a good.
They figured the logistics out of it. It's coming.
Yeah.
That's what they're working on right now. Is getting it.
What would it be?
for high school.
What's the Illinois time? 45.
I don't know.
I
thought it was more than
I thought it was-
30.
College is what 30.
College is 30,
It might be 35.
maybe.
Golly.
Hey, I love what the Reds fans did the other day with the pitch clock. They were counting down when
Well,
the time was
that's
off. That
that's
was
one
hilarious.
innovation.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I like the pitch clock,
It gets
but I hate
quicker.
the bigger base. That's ridiculous. That was just an odd thing. And I don't want to hope they never go to the simulated umpire. I think that's goofy. But baseball's in started. Reds are 1-2. I think they're going to have a good year. I've predicted 85 wins.
I like it.
Anybody passionate about the Reds?
Passionate, but again, it's one of those that
Can't watch it.
until they get good.
Right now, I'm watching it on highlights on
I'll say,
YouTube the next
your
day.
dad, you'd had to set up a streaming service for him to watch
Yeah.
it. Also, talked about today with Grandpa Ray. Like, imagine us trying to go tell Grandpa Ray, you have to stream this, you have to pay so many hundreds of dollars for the FanDuel network to watch your Reds play.
Is that how
He
you
wouldn't know
get
what to
it?
do.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gotta be found on
Okay, see what I've been just doing now, obviously, except for
Besides
the radio,
opening day was on Fox.
is I've been watching the highlights on YouTube the
Yeah.
next day,
Yeah.
just so I can at
That's all
least
you
see
can
their
do.
faces. 'Cause I went like 10, 12 years where I hardly saw games because I didn't have no cable or nothing.
Yeah,
And when Mom got it down at the house, and my mom was poor health then, kind of ridden to chair, she wasn't mobile. That was like the best present ever when we wound up having the Reds. My mom became such a bigger baseball fan, and we had so many good memories. I was really into baseball during that spell. Like I said, Billy Hamilton and Joey Votto were her favorites. But I'm excited about baseball because I love the long season. I love the grind. I love the heat. But I don't like sports when they get too far away from how the game has always been played. I don't know, but there's always going to be changes. That evolution. You have to do that. I get it. I'm just old school on certain things, but juice bats or stuff like that. I don't know. But you've been arguing about the baseball since Babe Ruth hit 50 home runs. Dead ball to a live ball. Okay, so that's enough of RA's sermon. Sermon broken chapter by RA. But anything, guys, anything you're looking forward to here in the spring, or any activity, we're all going to be busy and got a game tomorrow night. I guess I better be ready. Hope Cassidy Lee's there to do the music.
We're working on it tomorrow in school, getting it done during Wise.
I got mine just in case of backup, but
Yeah, it all works.
but
You got to use his football mic though. The baseball mic doesn't work anymore. I had to steal your football mic, by the way.
you mean the big console one like that?
You got to press the button down top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
For
you use
baseball?
now. Yeah, the one you had.
Has
doesn't
that
work
speaker working
No,
better now? The one that
it's-
was going
it's
in and
okay.
out?
I mean, it's the scrap out.
It's funny. Cassidy would,
Yeah,
or
June's
any
gonna
of the
get
people
June's
I
gonna
had
edit all
working
this
with,
stuff out, right?
huh?
June's gonna
June's
edit all
all
this
this.
stuff out, right?
I don't know, June. Are you ready? I had it on mute for crying out loud. It's probably still on mute. Well, I don't know. We better not take it too far. We
Anywho,
are pending big sponsorship.
We're
here.
ready to go. Let's say we're ready to go.
we're ready for you
For
for
baseball.
We're ready to rock and roll.
Okay, cool.
Robin.
Scrimmage went good.
Oh yeah. Good.
The Union County pitcher, he's the real deal.
Is Ron
Sophomore.
Webb still helping? Ronnie
No, I
Webb?
didn't see him.
Okay.
But this sophomore pitcher they got, he is the real deal. I mean, he's throwing 90 miles an hour fastball. His curveball slider's got a lot of movement. I mean, going from one
Cheatham?
batter's Cheatham, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got
How old is he?
sophomore.
Sophomore.
Wow.
Who's a hoke?
He's I think ranked number 3 in the state. He's like top 25 in the country for pitchers. He's legit. I mean, he's the real deal. He's throwing heat. I mean, his off speed's got so much movement. I think he threw one slider went from like at the batter's head to the opposite batter's box almost. Like that thing moves. Garrett Kuntz nicked a foul ball off
You're
him.
gonna say to Garrett taking yard.
He nicked one. He was just under it. It hit the fence, and pieces of the fence came in and flew at me up in the press box.
Oh, jeez.
That ball was
Yeah.
so hardly thrown and hit. I mean, he's good. I mean, he's placed third other than that, but like I said, for a sophomore, he's legit. I think he's got the best chance around anybody around this area to go pro after high school in after this year and 2 more seasons.
I tell you what, I've always missed not having Denny Dorrel up in the baseball press box, so I can enlighten him on former Reds players.
Bill Bottomley, baby.
Bill Bonham, and Denny Dorrel almost spit up Pop twice in the press box. When I said that Bill Bonham threw over to first base too much, and he goes, "Who's that?" He about spit up.
Yeah.
And when I said, "You ready?" This is going to make him mad. He's going to leave the show. That Rob Cowen and Mike Huff having a personal war between beer cans and sunsets on baseball.
On baseball.
Denny Dorrel almost went
Yeah, lost it.
with
Yeah, that's
Bob
probably
out.
true. That's probably
Yeah,
true.
lost it.
There was almost pop on the fans
Yeah.
underneath us. But I think you guys have had a ceasefire. sunset.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's the storms because the storms are always.
It's
coming.
always going to be something.
It's
He's,
gonna be
never,
something.
he's
It's
always
always
number
gonna
2
be
in the book.
something.
He's
Yeah,
number
it's
1 in the
Christmas
book.
decorations. Danny, are they?
Number 2.
Have you kept these
Number
guys
two,
out of
number-
your yard lately? Stay out of my yard.
I've gotten payback on one of them.
Yeah, you sure did.
No
Yeah.
details. No
Yeah,
soccer.
where, when his Christmas display, my family put a
No, it was my Trump sign.
yeah, it was Trump, actually it's Trump sign. We put a sheet over it that said "I heart Kamala" on it, real big.
And then that rascal needs to
Yeah, on the other side was "I heart Rascal Flats."
No.
No
God,
more
no.
Rascal Flats fans.
That
You know what was funny when me and
Still
Brandon
got cheap.
and Eric and Easton went up to the Purdue game to watch
Is
Purdue
it
play
bad? Rascal
UCLA.
Flats? Is
There was,
it-
there was
Oh,
the
okay.
Rascal Flatts song in his truck. He was driving his truck. We had it
And I'm
on, so I
sick.
started videoing
I'm
it.
sick.
Oh,
The Rascal
That's
Flatts.
What
sick of
is the hate of Rascal?
Oh,
Flats?
They're
I
a
hate Rascal
they're a
Flats.
country artist
You
that
hate
couldn't
Seth.
make it in.
You hate Seth. What's his name? We got in trouble on the show for that.
Who's that?
Seth, the announcer. The
Seth Davis.
Oh,
Seth
Seth Davis. I
Davis.
hate that guy too.
see,
That's another
he's
band.
full of venom. No,
No,
Rascal
so
Flats.
he says Rascal Flats is a country.
Rascal Dorks.
They could the Rascal Dorks tried to be pop. They couldn't make it, so they went to country. So he hates them. So of course, we're driving through West Lafayette, going to the Purdue UCLA game. I hear, and my first instinct was to turn it off, and I started laughing. And Ope goes, "What do you laugh?" I said, "Oh, if Dad knew the song was playing in his truck, he'd hate it because his life is a highway." So he goes, "Crank it up!" Then turns the dial. So of course I'm here. So I'm singing now. Travis is videotaping. I'm singing, and we made him so mad that
I
we
didn't know
played.
there was this venom
Yeah.
of Rascal
I
Flats.
think it's still etched on the
We were
inside
trying
of
to
his
finish
truck.
the lyric with him,
It's
but I
ass
thought
forever.
Denny.
Yeah,
It is.
We didn't
Denny's
try to-
finished the lyric. Rascal Flats.
Oh,
Rob Cowen.
no, Denny's like, we
Yeah.
can't put the mic close to Rob if we do that.
Oh,
We'll
my
lose it.
God.
No, he
we
did,
lost
tried to do
the
that
mic.
on my
Speaking
50th
of-
birthday party. He tried to have them. They had him singing it, and I walked out of my.
He walked at his own birthday party to
Welcome
Rascal
to my own
Flats singing
birthday
Happy
party.
Birthday.
Man, he's got opinions, doesn't he?
I know. It's-
For being the mayor of North Saco.
yeah, you would think
North
he'd be a
Wickham.
little nicer.
I told him when I'm dead, they want to make sure I'm dead. They played freaking Rascal Flats. If I pop out the casket, I'm not dead yet.
Yikes.
That's how you find out if I'm dead or not.
Man, now we got death involved in it. But hey, wait a minute. Travis, aren't you guys taking the mighty hub to Brooks and
Yeah.
Dunn?
We're going
Thursday
to Brooks
night.
and Dunn.
Is that this week?
Thursday
Frank's going. Rob's going.
This
God,
Thursday
I'm
night.
jealous
Huffy's
again.
going.
That'd be a fun jump.
Coxey's
going.
going.
Hey,
is it-
think of me when they play Mama Don't Get Dressed Up for Nothing. Do you know the Brookville version of Brooks and Dunn? You guys know this, don't you? Jeff Sievert and Paul Paget. They always called them Brooks and
Brooks
Dunn.
and Dunn. I can
Think
see it.
about it.
Yeah.
Paul
Yeah.
Paget pointing the
Yeah.
cowbell. Jeff Siebert
Yeah.
with a cowboy hat on. That's the Brookville Brooks and Dunn.
Never heard
But if they sing Mama Don't Get Dressed Up for Nothing, give a shout for Rob Allen. I love that song. Well, that's going to be a good time.
That'll be a good time.
Where's it at?
Cambridge.
Cambridge.
Indianapolis.
Fieldhouse.
Okay.
Pacers.
Man, oh
Huffy's
man.
checking our seats out for us tonight.
Huffy, he'll be
Yeah.
out of control. His hair will be all wild, and he'll be wearing a cowboy hat.
Mm-hmm.
He's thinking he's back at the coach's corner.
Yeah, they'll have be rolling cowboy hat.
Danny, did you know we're trying to get Huffy for a football season? Powder blue cowboy hat, make him look like J.R. Ewing.
Oh yeah.
FC in the middle, and a big feather.
Big feather out.
And you'll look like Bum Phillips out there.
I like it. I'll give him a shout out on the mic.
Oh, man. Well, we've had fun tonight. Is there any other news before we get kind of power this thing down
We
tonight?
shoot still, don't we?
Oh, we got to shoot.
Maybe
Oh,
shot.
geez.
Denny Dorrel, you know what the shot's all
I do.
about.
shoot.
You
I
got-
do.
Thank you.
I'm gonna
assistant-
I'm gonna
Thank-
shoot, and then I gotta go to a meeting.
Thank you, assistant producer. Now, again, Denny, we always ask that nobody hit the camera because we don't have a lot of sponsorship, and that'll be the end of it. Now, do we got enough colors here tonight?
Yeah.
I think Denny ought to be blue tonight.
Oh yeah.
He's the blue. Franklin County blue.
Give me
And
Greyhound.
we're missing some.
Oh.
What do you want
here.
to be tonight? Green?
I don't care. You
Probably
give me
that bad
whatever.
shot to Stacy. Probably ain't found that ball yet.
Travis, what do you want to be?
I'll do yellow.
You going to be old Lincoln?
I'll go for West. And,
Now go be pacer yellow today.
You're going to be green.
yeah,
Oh,
I do pacer
yes.
yellow. Do that.
I got to find another
You're
red.
missing a red one.
Same
That's-
Michael.
Greyhound green.
I'm dedicating this tonight to Sarah Dorrell's coaching.
Oh yeah. Your first one you don't say anything. Your second one you
Yeah,
dedicate.
sorry,
to.
I'm jumping the gun. All right, we
You
got to
can't
shoot
dunk
over
it.
the
You
You
eagle.
can't dunk it. You have to
Can
take
you
a
guys
seat.
see it?
Yeah. We're
Stay
good.
seated.
Here, let me get Travis. Has got always the long shot. We'll make it a little fair. Rob, no dunking tonight. He's
Speaking
dunking.
of Sarah Dorrel, did you know that my wife dated Pat Kelsey, the head coach at Louisville, for over a year?
Did not know
What the heck?
And now she's stuck in Brookville, Indiana with this.
Now
Golden
she's
Acres
stuck
Farm.
with-
No,
Now
hey,
she's stuck with-
that just proves that you could have been D1 college football. That
But she
proves
stayed,
it.
she stayed with the Triple D.
10 years,
instead.
he's back.
Right, Coach.
College football.
So we were driving out the driveway, and Louisville had just beat Indiana in the Bahamas in basketball. And I looked at her and I said, "You realize you could be in the Bahamas right now?"
Well,
No, I'm with you.
Well, honestly,
And you're on Golden Road
she
right now.
said there's nowhere else
Like
she'd
high
rather
school
be.
together or something?
Didn't she go to
Yeah,
Roger
she did.
Bacon?
Roger Bacon.
She went to Roger
It's funny,
Bacon.
we had a big powwow about
Yeah.
her sports because I'm a big Ohio sports fan. I'm just moving we're still about America here, folks. We're just moving it so we don't hit the
Come on, Travis, what are we going for?
So Travis,
Oh!
wait a minute. It
Whoa,
wasn't time.
that?
Start
Whoa!
over. You weren't ready. You
Whoa!
weren't ready.
Those are breeze or
Are
something.
you okay?
Just a
You're
bit.
right.
Did you see a hook over there?
Just think you're a baseline. You're a
I don't know. I
baseline
guess I
shot.
threw. I don't know what that is.
Thinking about baseball.
So that
Don't it?
slider.
No,
He
we
looked
got
like
four
Bill
outside.
Bottom.
You're Bill Bottom right there.
Are we
Bill
dedicating-
Bottom.
are we dedicating the first or the second?
No.
All I-
Second one.
all I
He
can-
has trouble with dedication.
All I can
It
think of
shakes
was
him up. Here comes a dunk.
all I can think of was
Ooh,
just.
Look at
a bit
Denny
outside.
Dorrel.
Oh, short.
This guy has
Oh,
made so
man.
many.
That's for Huffy.
He always
right there.
says that's what he's
That's for
talking about.
Huffy.
No dedication yet.
Whoa!
I never make
That's
it.
for Westline.
Cookies.
Cookies. I'm not,
Here
there's
come
some
dedication.
stale ones
Get
up
some
there.
stale.
Danny,
Yeah, I'm
you
going
might
to-
get a stale
I'm not
cookie.
getting stale cookie.
Sarah.
Oh, who is it dedicated?
What?
Is it Sarah?
What?
She's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna dedicate to Sarah, my wife.
That way, Sarah.
He's going to miss again.
Oh.
He didn't even. Sarah, that wasn't for you. That was for the Buffalo Bills.
The Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills. That's for Sarah. Go ahead.
For all my
Sharp.
little piggies the other day, when Dan was up running around on the ocean, for you.
Yeah, thanks to Rob Cowen. Rob
Missed
Cowen
him too.
won.
That was good.
I didn't kill him.
Animals?
Yeah, my family we went on a
Oh,
cruise.
okay. Thanks for watching.
And
the
Rob
live
took care of
stuff.
the animals.
There you go. Dedication.
Dedication to my wife and my kids for allowing me to drag them all over God's creation to chase my dreams.
That away. Good job. Look at that. He don't have to cook for a month.
Look at that.
So look at that.
Back in good graces.
There's I'm getting the stale cookies back.
Steak
out.
when you get home.
What about you, sharpshooter?
Well, I can't dedicate to wife or kids, so.
Well,
Your brother's birthday tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Austin Cowan's birthday.
the wrestler.
Oh,
Of course you're going to miss it.
And even though
I
I've
was off the
already
top row.
made one, dedicating this to the Dorrel family and their dedication to St. Michael, all the St. Michaelers and all of our listeners and the people here tonight. Wearing red. Oh, sorry.
All
I
right,
didn't
hey,
make
good round,
one.
good round, good round.
Hey,
good
look
round.
at this, guys. Just to let you prove that we do hand these out. But you might want to bite with caution.
Aw.
Everybody gets one tonight for this good show. Danny, look at
Take one,
that.
pass
Chips
it down.
Ahoy,
Take
Chips
one.
Ahoy.
courtesy of
Chips
EW
Ahoy.
Bachman Company.
this is the good stuff.
Thank you.
Brad Stacy bid into one. Robbie, they're sad. Robbie,
No, they probably weren't, does it?
Robbie, he said I should have gave
What
Brad.
are you talking
maybe-
about? This says May of 2025.
Oh, then you guys are good.
That's it, wrong.
They're original, Brad. They're not chewy. They're crunchy.
But to take care of business, we have a lot of fun on here. And we got, Danny, you're always welcome. Anytime, anything you want to bring in, year round. You're welcome, as are all of our guests. But we've got upcoming, obviously, show, the usual time, 12 a.m. on Friday. June will have it ready.
Friday's
You know, we've been doing me and Shelby, another associate producer, has been doing the scheduling now. But June's still our technical one. She'll probably have to fix it since I hit. There'll probably be an outtake.
You'll be a big
Okay,
outtake.
be ready.
Oh,
There'll be an
outtake.
outtake of our my mess.
oh,
up,
it's
not
on
yours.
mute.
God,
We gotta
it's so
pause
bad.
it.
Remember when I thought we lost the whole
5
show?
minutes.
That was
Oh
bad.
yeah.
I freaking panicked.
That was bad.
I admit there's a lot of panic for me in this. But anyway, we'll be out on Friday morning. Spring stuff starting tomorrow night for old RA and the Fighting Jerry Kuntzes. Good luck, Wildcats. Hope to get the coaches on. Hope to meet with LD and Todd about the Reds talk. And guys, enjoy the concert. Man, I'm envious. That's going to be a heck of a good
Well,
time.
the next one you're
Are you
going?
going?
Not.
Next one you're both going. That's just fine.
Yeah, we ought to go to like
Yeah.
Hank Williams Jr. or something.
Yeah,
Take
we'll
Danny
just
I'll
Dorrel.
go to Hank.
You have a
They
big
were
old
out the
cowboy
flash,
hat
I
on.
thought we'd go.
Yeah.
You like Hank? You like both Sevas?
I tell you, I've been to 8 concerts in my life, and 7 of them are Garth Brooks.
Ooh. Well, hey.
So if he
Great
goes
taste.
back out on tour, I'm in.
if that happens.
Yeah, if that happens.
He's got the hat's got the big G Garth Brooks
Yeah.
hat on that. And what about you? You're going to the concert too, aren't you?
I'll be there. Yep.
And you got to meet with
Driver.
Jason Allen. Is that true?
I'm going to meet Big J Allen for middle school golf
Jason,
here.
we're pointing it out to you.
The Brookfield Pioneer.
He still knows that I'm going to have him on that episode called Snow Days. It's him, Brad Tebby. Back in my old Snow
Yeah.
Days people, we want to get an episode. Jason thought he was the best player, but we're not going to go into that. But
They'll tell you he was the 1,000-point
Yes.
JV scorer.
And
Yeah.
I've got quorums with that too, but
Yeah.
that's all right.
Tell you
But
later.
no, a great show tonight, guys. A lot of fun. Thanks for coming up to Connorsville. They always make the road trip up. Just thinking if there's any other business. I guess there's not. Well, we'll catch up on our next episode,
It's
whenever
light.
that is, about who won.
Yeah.
We got our picks. We got the light.
Purdue.
Purdue, I guess. And Danny did a good job on Finish the Lyrics. So for that,
The Swifty.
the Swifty, good gosh. I tell you. I guess we're going to shut her down tonight. So thanks to all our viewers, listeners on Spotify, viewers on YouTube. Catch us. Anybody
you guys
out on the
Monday.
road, catch us Friday morning. Westlake, one of our first tune-inners. Any other parting shouts, anybody?
You.
All right. We're going to shut it down. Thank you, guys. Safe travels. Safe, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Coach's Corner crew. See you, everybody. Go America. I'm going to shut it down.
USA.
Watch this, Denny. This is where things go.
Oh my gosh.
Well, don't you hit Steve Kreiders.
Jesus.
Steve,
I've been
thanks for
all
the
right.
rant.
Yeah, Steve been all right.
Brandon, are you
Yeah, that's the button right there.
I flipped.
That just made the outro.